Yes, people's Keishan Prince. Today we're talking about the weakness that 99% of UK players have. So, again, I have to address this because, as you know, football isn't just a sport that we love and enjoy. You as a professional, or you as a semi-pro trying to become an elite player or pro, it's a job end of the day. And so when clubs overseas over age of 18 are grabbing players from Portugal and these countries to fit in certain spots, end of the day, they're taking your job, they're taking your money, they're taking your food. You can't provide for your family. So these are the weaknesses and strengths that I want to adjust in every nation. But I thought to start home in the UK, playing over here and seeing the weaknesses that we've had and hasn't really changed over the years, and why we don't produce certain players, and what can you do to put yourself in a better position in order to have a successful career. So when I'm looking at these stages in terms of weakness, I'm looking at all these 6 phases. We're looking at building the attack, controlling the tempo, dominating possession, fluid progression, penetration, and finishing. So I want to ask you to, I want to give you a couple of seconds, and I want you to figure out in these 6 zones, which are the 3 ones that the UK that we are strong in. All right, I want to be quiet for 10 seconds. Now, if you have chosen fluid progression, penetration, and finishing as our strength, then you are correct. This is where we are very strong at in the UK. We are very strong at going from building the attack, which we don't even do, straight to fluid progression, which is where we see second balls and third balls wins. This is what Pep spoke about. He said in the UK, you got to worry about the second and third ball. You didn't have to worry about that in none of the countries that he's coached in Germany and in Spain. We are very good at penetrating. In terms of that line, we can get into those zones, those wide areas, using our athleticism to beat the fullback, etc. And then finishing, we can create goal scoring chances. We're very good in those stages, and I can go deeper in those in another video. But where we struggle and why we don't produce consistent centre midfielders, because we don't produce enough centre midfielders, the centre midfielders as we used to times past. Okay. It's because those zones require patience, and it requires discipline, and it requires understanding. For example, in terms of building the attack, we're looking at, in that zone, we're looking at shapes. How do we build up from the back? We're talking about shapes in terms of to be able to get out successfully. I know some of that saying, oh, we're not Barcelona or whatever. Listen, I'm talking about you having a career if you want to go overseas and play. Listen, you got to be able to be comfortable as a holder mid to know where you should be positioned at building the attack. That requires shapes. When it comes to controlling the tempo, it's now going to be about numbers. All right, 2 passes forward, 1 pass back, etc. Controlling the tempo, being patient, dominating possession. Now this is where it gets nice and tricky. Now it's all about looking at patterns. How could we then retain possession, be comfortable, moving the team around? Because see, in this zone, dominate possession, we are seeing at non-league level guys go from building attack. Centre backs will get the ball. You centre backs, listen, it's your fault as well. You get the ball, and if a centre mid will show or DM will show, you guys will go straight to fluid progression, penetration, and that's where all the action is. And again, I'm talking about if you want to cross over for become an elite footballer, you have to understand building the attack, controlling the tempo, and dominate possession. If England can really teach players these 3 zones, we will have a lot more consistent players being able to go overseas and have jobs and play in La Liga and Germany and Italy. But when we go to Spain, for example, and we've got a centre midfielder, yes, you could be 6'6", 6'5", whatever, like Paul Pogba. But when you go and play in the Spanish team, who like to understand about dominate possession, and that's their weakness. I want to talk about that in another video, that they can over dominate the possession and even control the tempo, and they lack sometimes that fluid progression. So let me know what you think about this in the video, and let's keep going.